So the original intention for this one was to make it a server, but I had problems using old equipment and getting it to work together. After putting a couple computers together and then making a few custom ones for customers, I ended up with all these pieces as leftovers. So then my final idea was, hey, let's turn this into a mini server / gamer, and I can also test GPUs on this. Well, as usual with my builds, it didn't work out the way I wanted to, and you'll see that as I progress through this build. I added 3 fans, all in green, represent money, I suppose. And then I added a couple of light strips that you don't see here. The MONTECH Beta Bronze gaming power supply of 550 watts. The Wi-Fi card didn't end up working. It didn't recognize the server hard drive that I had purchased for it. So I ended up using one HDD. This NEMESIS case is another one of my builds from a long time ago. It's actually dated to 2004, this case. And it's so old, one of the lights don't work anymore, but it's alright. I'll get somebody to fix it someday. Micro ATX motherboard for a big old full ATX, a full gaming PC case that I'm basically using as a tester. Well, nowadays with these heat sinks and coolers for your CPUs, you have to remove these mounting brackets on the motherboards using the ASROCK motherboard for this one. Decided to go with the Ryzen 3 3200G with the VEGA 8 graphics, and it's a 4-core, 4 threads processor. It's you can max it out to 4 gigahertz. Otherwise, it's at 3.6 gigahertz base. Adding a TEAMGROUP M2 SSD. It's 512 gigabytes. Certainly starts up your computer very quickly. There I am with my very famous tadpole design there. Works for me. Covers the CPU. Now these coolers do actually come with a little bit of thermal paste on them, but it won't hurt you to add a little more. XPG 16 gigabyte kit, 3000 megahertz. The ASROCK B450M HDV. Capabilities of triple monitor. Connected it with an M2. 4K straight off the motherboard connections. No GPU required. So one of the problems that I ran into when I put this build together originally is that when I was putting the GPU in there, it conflicted with the RADEON graphics. So if I connected it to the GPU, it would try to look for the NVIDIA graphics card, which it did. But then when I try to connect it to the motherboard and keep it on the CPU's graphics, it got a little squirrely. So I tested out 3 different ones just to test them, and then I ended up having to reinstall the operating system again. As of now, I've taken out one of the hard drives and I've taken out the graphics card to make sure that I could game without using a graphics card or a GPU. And the only thing that's in there is just a TV tuner, a little extra toy that I had. It was actually in my bathroom. Perfect place for it, I guess. I don't know. I have a Toshiba 2 terabyte HDD, a Hyundai 1 terabyte SSD, and of course the TEAMGROUP M2 at 512 gigabytes. Those 2 light strips, LED light strips, are purple, so green and purple. It's a nice color combo. Done showing it off and putting it together, so now it's time to fire it up, make sure that it works. Of course there's stickers galore. The airflow with these fans is pretty nice. You can feel it venting out in the back pretty well. There you have the S-Video TV tuner, VGA, HDMI, DVI port with the MONTECH power supply. Plenty of venting. Here it is, fired up. You can stick a controller on it, that Xbox One. All you have to do is plug it into a USB port and it recognizes itself automatically. No need to install anything, at least I didn't have to. The light panel in the back. Get them off eBay, Amazon, Newegg. Everything runs pretty silent. The only thing you can kind of hear is just the whooshing of the fans as it vents out. And I did my best to cable manage here. Again, this is from 2004, this gamer case, and there's not slots behind it. Everything's pretty one big solid piece. I decided to go with Pop OS because apparently it's much more better at gaming than the Linux Mint. An optical drive in there, and then a media card reader for SD cards and things of that nature. And of course, I popped in a drawer. You know I had to. This case is so old, it used to have the LAN party motherboards from DFI. And I used to actually use it to do video editing on this thing. So it's an ancient PC gaming case, but it made a lot of money for me. And had to decommission it, but I'm glad I could bring it back to life and repurpose it. Covered in stickers, just like a good old-fashioned skateboard. All these things certainly do matter. Pop operating system, always free with Linux, and it has its own pop shop, so you can just download your own programs as you need them. And you can download Lutris and Steam, and you'll be able to set those up for your gaming experience at home. And again, this one has no graphics card, no GPU. It's running straight off the CPU. It's connected to the motherboard. I like Pop because it seems to be easier to set up for gaming. All the notifications just pop up for you. And it makes life easier. It loads up pretty quick with the M2. STW media card reader, that lovely drawer that I absolutely adore. I have to put it in everything of my own. And an ASUS DVD dual layer burner. It is working very good, and it's totally valid as a gaming computer. I'm pretty satisfied with it. I mean, I guess if you're looking to game in 4K, it might be an issue, but as long as it's in 720p or 1080p, you'll be fine. And there should be no worries on this. And then when I attach the Xbox One controller to it through a USB hub, it recognizes it automatically. So there was nothing extra drivers to download on that front. I highly recommend it if you're on a budget and all you have is enough for a CPU but not a graphics card. You can totally avoid it. Just make sure you look for those special CPUs with graphics integrated into them. It's the Ryzen and the Athlons, the AMDs. They usually say VEGA or RADEON VEGA graphics on it, and there'll be differences in between them, so, and in prices, so you just get what's best for you. I suggest you just watch YouTube videos. You can even edit video footage on this. I had no problems editing. And mess with your audio and your soundtrack. I was able to do everything on this thing, so I'm actually pretty satisfied. And like I said before, I think moving forward, I'm going to start putting Pop operating system on all my builds now for gaming, because it seems to work just fine. I don't see any problems with it. So I hope that this helps you in making your decisions if you're on a budget and maybe you don't have enough for a graphics card. You totally don't need one. You can game just fine. I did. And please continue to tune in. I appreciate the thumbs up and the views. Take care. Stay well. Ciao, friends.